Okay, let's get this death battle between Aquaman and Namor started. The first combatant up is Aquaman. Now, for Aquaman, because they basically do that. They altered the timeline on him, which alters some of his abilities pretty drastically. Stickily, I will be doing this, splitting him into pre-Flashpoint Paradox Aquaman, like before before Flash messes up the timeline, and before he fixes it, and then post Flashpoint Paradox, after he's tried to put the timeline back to what it was, but it still had some changes, and these changes do affect his abilities to some degree. So let's start off. Oh, and one other thing I almost forgot. Because I'm doing two different versions, I'm not going to be hybriding them together. I'm going to be comparing Namor to each version and giving a result. Meaning, say, Namor wins against pre-Flashpoint Paradox, but loses to post. Well, then I'll do, and the winner is boom for one, or boom, and then boom, the winner for the other one is this. So there'll be two different winners. But say he loses to both versions of Aquaman or beats both versions of Aquaman, there'll only be one winner. Okay, meaning there will be only one winner video. You section of this, so you won't have to go, okay, why is this playing twice? I know it's going to be, wait, what? You won't be asking yourself what's going on here. But moving on. Let's start talking about Aquaman before I make your head spin. Aquaman is a full-blooded this is from the pre-Flashpoint Paradox timeline, not the post, the pre-Flashpoint Paradox timeline. He is a full-blooded Atlantean and from the Atlantean royalty lineage, meaning he literally is both his parents are Atlantean royalty, and he's a full-blooded Atlantean. This makes him a super Atlantean, and I can already hear the Super Namekian and Super Saiyan jokes coming right now. Ugh. You done? Okay. Now that you've had your fun, let's move on. Because of his Atlantean heritage, he is able to walk on land and breathe underwater. He's also got enhanced vision, enhanced hearing, and enhanced smell. His super strength is off the charts, allowing him to deadlift a chunk of a city block in San Diego. His superhuman stamina is also very impressive, allowing him to swim at 150 miles per hour for at least 4 hours without taking a significant break. His durability is also so huge too, allowing him to withstand the pressure of being 36,000 feet below the surface of the water. He's also energy/heat resistant, and he is able to take Black Manta's and Amazo's heat vision/heat beams because of this. His superhuman speed allows him when he's just allows his normal speed to be around 100 miles per hour. That's his normal speed. When he puts himself under distress, like pushes himself to his maximum limits, his maximum speed is 1,000 knots. He's also got superhuman reflexes and marine telepathy. Aquaman also accomplish telepathy in general, unlike most Atlanteans, and can perform such telepathic feats as mind-to-mind communication, mind probing, and mental domination of non-aquatic minds and mental attacks. The potency of such mental domination is unclear, but he has been seen to use this power to great effects against the White Martians and Dr. Polaris. He's also a master swimmer, an expert combatant, and an expert tactician. He has advanced strategic sense, and has a natural leadership qualities. He's also an accomplished diplomat. His only weakness is water deprivation. Aquaman must return to the water after a period of time, or he will weaken. And his one weapon that he has on him is the Trident of Neptune. So, now that we're done with that, Aquaman, let's move on to post Flashpoint Paradox, where the timeline has been altered. Aquaman. So Aquaman after Flashpoint Paradox, where Barry Allen alters the timeline twice. After his second timeline altering, Aquaman is no longer full Atlantean. His father was human, and his mother was full Atlantean. Anyway, so and his mother was Atlantean royalty. So let's see what his body. So we'll see what he can do. He's bulletproof, invulnerable, and his durability has been such that he's been able to. Be thrown up into the upper atmosphere and take atmospheric re-entry. No problem. He's also still energy and heat resistant. He's still got superhuman stamina and enhanced smell, reflexes, and speed. And his strength, believe it or not, he was strong enough to. His strongest feat ever in this timeline is moving a 160,000 ton sea liner and throwing it at the dead king. Or no, he didn't throw it at the dead king. He just moved it. Kind of like how we move heavy boxes. Yes, it puts some strain on us, but not too much. He also has marine telepathy and can communicate with almost any animal that is a marine or aquatic life. He also, thanks to the blessing of Poseidon, he is now able to fly. Yeah. And again, his only weakness is water deprivation. So that concludes, and he still has the trident of. He still has his trusty trident in this timeline, although it's the Trident of Poseidon now. So let's move on from Aquaman to Namor. Okay, now since Namor only has one main version, we can not that many time, not a split or so. Oh, I can pretty much only talk about one version of Namor, and this one will be a lot quicker than talking about Aquaman. And so let's start things off by explaining that Namor is half mutant. And I mean half mutant in the same sense as Cyclops, Wolverine. Yes, his father, there has confirmed by Marvel, was a mutant with the X gene, just how Wolverine and Professor Xavier and all those happy people had had the X gene. So his father passed on the mutant X gene to him. His mother there was an Atlantean royalty. So he's got Atlantean royalty and mutant DNA, the mutant X gene, Homo superioris. That's how Marvel. Basically, this is how Marvel, instead of Homo sapien being Atlanteans are called Homo marinus, and mutants are called Homo superior. So he's half Homo superior and half Homo marinus, or just half mutant, half Atlantean, if you want to call it. And he's a quote unquote alpha level mutant. But we'll get into what his mutant abilities are after we get into his Atlantean abilities. Again, thanks to his Atlantean abilities, he can breathe on land and underwater. He also has superhuman strength, enough for him to knock Luke Cage out with ease, and enough strength to, with a surprise attack, put She-Hulk unconscious. Just his strength while underwater, well, his strength in general, well, at max when he's just freshly gotten out of the water or underwater, allows him to easily lift a World War II destroyer here and easily slam it into, just throw it at someone. His speed at its maximum allows him to reach over 75 knots. His stamina is amazing. It takes at least 24 hours before he starts to feel tired. And his superhuman agility and reflexes are also pretty amazing. His superhuman durability is enough for him to withstand high caliber bullets and falls from low orbital heights. He has aquatic healing, which allows him to heal faster than most other people. And he can absorb certain levels of radiation. He has an extended longevity, and aquatic telepathy. Namor can mentally communicate with other Atlanteans and give telepathic orders to all men, and probably humans as well. He has augmented vision, and now let's get on to his mutant powers. Thanks to the mutant gene that it's from his father, Namor is able to fly with these vestial wings on his ankles. Now, when these wings, with these wings, he's able to fly faster than military crafts. He's also, so if these wings are cut off though, at any point, he's pretty much not going to be able to fly anymore. More tumbles down like a rock. He's got superhuman hearing. I mean, well, not. Now, let's move on to. Sorry, that last one with the retconned ability. Sorry, I got those up here too. So, ignore that last part about him having superhuman hearing. He's an expert tactician, multilingual, able to speak virtually every language on Earth, skilled engineer, and a talented business executive. His weaknesses are water deficiency, and efficiency, meaning when not exposed to water, many of Namor's physical attributes gradually decline and can reach a point where he possesses only a fraction of his normal power. Namor's strength, stamina, and durability are affected most, and at their minimum levels are much more closer to the levels possessed by the majority of other Atlanteans. Renewed exposure to water will immediately restore his abilities. Namor has demonstrated the vulnerability to oxygen imbalance when remaining too long in either water or air, resulting in manic depressive mood swings, bipolar tendencies, and head problems. Also, very powerful heat-based attacks are somewhat of a concern as they cause dehydration, causing his body to dry faster and weaken at an accelerated rate. Also, there's pollution. If he's immersed in or exposed to polluted water, it can have a negative effect on both his psyche and efficiency of his physical attributes. He currently as Neptune's trident has his weapon, the horn of Proteus, and the power gem. Well, that's all about Namor's abilities. Now let's move on to the AMVs. You can pick who's gonna win this while you watch the AMVs. Now, good night, everybody. And I'll see you on the other side explaining who won this fight. Alright? So, see ya. Okay, it's math and science time, boys and girls, to explain how both versions of Aquaman, when individually pit against Namor, completely outmatch him. First off, I have to explain that the power gem, even though it would grant Namor unlimited power if he was using it, or an insane power increase that Aquaman in no way could match, it's been shattered as of recently in the main timeline, so he no longer has it. So that's not going to be he's not going to be able to use it in this fight. So let's compare his regular strength. Lifting a World War II class destroyer here. That get comparing that to the nearest comparable human feat, that gives Namor a overhead lift, meaning his maximum overhead lift. It is 20,330 tons. Now, impressive, but the pre-Flashpoint Paradox version of Aquaman's strongest feat was lifting up a city block from San Diego. A significant and his Flashpoint Paradox strongest feat was lifting up a 160,000 ton ocean liner in a similar manner to Namor lifting up the World War II class destroyer. Now here's the thing. Name the World War II class destroyers compared to an ocean liner. World War II class destroyers only weighed 2,000 tons, whereas Aquaman's weighed whereas the ocean liner Aquaman lived in the same manner was 160,000 tons. So by comparison, Aquaman of the post Flashpoint Paradox, his maximum strength is 24,340,544 tons. Compared to Namor's 20,000 ton feet maximum. Now, when comparing the San Diego block, he only deadlifted the San Diego block, meaning up to about his knees or so. So comparing the differences between deadlifting, the amount of weight a person is able to deadlift versus the weight they're able to overhead lift, we get in Aquaman's pre-Flashpoint Paradox's maximum to be 142,633 tons. So no matter which way you slice it, each individual timeline of Aquaman is able to destroy Namor in strength. And now, what about in speed? Namor is able to swim 75 knots, right? That translates into him being able to swim at 345 miles per hour. Impressive. But the pre-Flashpoint Paradox Aquaman is able to on average, like his minimum speed is 100 miles per hour, which is a third less, and his average, which is 150, is slightly more, but nothing Namor can't handle. But when he pushes himself to his maximum, he's at 1,150 the miles per hour, because that's how much. Because as I stated, his when he puts himself under distress and pushes himself to his maximum speed, meaning he's swimming with all of his might rather than just, okay, let me put in little effort. When he's putting in his maximum effort to swim, he's moving at 1,000 knots, which translates over to 1,150 miles per hour. So, Aquaman from the pre-Flashpoint Paradox timeline outclasses Namor. But what about the post-Flashpoint Paradox timeline? Well, he's on average, normal Atlanteans are able to move 100 miles per swim at 100 miles per hour underwater, whereas Aquaman is 50 times faster than them, giving him a speed of 5,000 miles per hour, making him way faster than Namor. So again, speed in both timelines, Namor's outclassed. But what about durability? Well, Namor is able to take 24,695,999,999 pound force. Now, what does that mean? That's basically the force you would receive from falling from a low orbit. Same post Flashpoint Paradox, and Aquaman is able to take a similar amount of punishment. Has taken the exact same thing. So their durability is comparable there. So if they were to keep duking it out, pretty much because Aquaman has is faster, he's going to be able to get more hits in, and it's going to be and his hits are going to do more damage. So when comparing post Flashpoint Paradox, it's a no-brainer. They have the same durability, so same amount of health basically. It's just Aquaman's going to be able to get in more hits because he's faster, and his hits are going to do more damage. So eventually, Namor's going down. Now, when comparing pre-Flashpoint Paradox Aquaman, it gets a little more trickier because his best feat is the pressure feat. But then, which isn't as cut dry comparison as comparing it to Namor's. But even then, he's still got more. His speed plus his speed, the speed difference plus the strength difference automatically allows him to pretty much Namor is not winning this fight either way. It is very difficult. It was a very close call comparing Flashpoint Paradox Aquaman to post to Namor, but even then with the strength and speed difference again, their durabilities. Again, his Aquaman's durability is no slouch. So the fact is, he's going to be able to hit Namor more often and a lot harder than what Namor's going to be able to do. So I'm sorry to say this round goes to Aquaman. Man, sorry, Namor fans. I guess the original isn't always the better option. And yes, Namor came before Aquaman. And his first comic came out in 1939. Aquaman's first comic came out in 1941. So yeah, Namor's the original and Aquaman's the clone. Oh, go figure. moving on. On. I guess you'll just have to wait to see what my next death battle is. It might be coming out sooner than you think. But for the time being, goodbye. Goodbye, my friends, and have a happy belated Easter.